Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy, DJ CK1. You know, Mr. Dress for Less. You're now rocking with Stay Connected TV. Hey, stay connected. So listen, I'm going to give y'all 5 things to love about Coach Sanders. Yeah. I know I said it was gonna be bad. Told you it was gonna be good. You probably wouldn't even tuned in. You dig what I'm saying? So check this out, man. Deion Sanders' sharpness. I love the man's sharpness, man. What you mean, said? Look, I watched Deion on the Pivot platform, and he answered every last single one of the questions, man. Listen, for those that don't know it, if you got a corporate job, you know, or you going out for any type of big job, more than likely, man, they're going to have a panel interview. Which means you're going to have like 3 or more people surrounding you, asking you all kind of questions, and you're going to have to answer every one of them with a great, secure answer, because this is your time to shine. So you can't give them no bull crap that's going to make them waver on their decision. You got to hook, land, and sink it. Correct. So listen, that is one of the things that I like about the man. His sharpness is really cool. Shoot, let me give you something else. Number 2, man, his ability to keep his faith through adversity. Man, Coach Prime was asked the question of who inspired him the most to be who he is today. Guess what he said? He simply responded, his mom. And let me tell you a little bit about that. So when Coach Prime was coming up, straight up, he basically, you know, had to kind of raise himself a little bit, you know what I mean? You know, and like, especially like in the middle school, high school phase, when his mom, you know, single parent, you know, working, 2 jobs, you know what I mean, trying to make ends meet, you know what I mean. He had to basically look up to her and take her energy and basically devour it within himself and spit it out as prime time. And it's hard to do that when you're coming from a single parent household and you only got one parent there. You got nobody teaching you to be a man, but you have to maybe look to the community, look to coaches, you know, look to those on the school board or inside the school system for that type of guidance. And basically gather it all up, man, or be a sponge to it, and then, you know, put it out there on the football field. So, man, I'm loving the fact that, you know, Prime could do something like that. You know, my dad was, you know, old school, man. He was one of those providers. You know what I mean? He took care of everything. We had the house, we had the vehicles, we had clothes, food, we had everything we needed. Straight up, he took care of our needs, and he was a great provider. But, you know, when it came down to that one-on-one time to where, you know, we talking about the birds and the bees, you know, the flowers and the trees and everything under the sun, sports, you know, gave me a Bible verse or 2 every now and again. Other than that, you know what I'm saying, it was hard to get past that, because I had to deal with my mom talking about her past and her pain growing up as a little girl and what she didn't have and how she made it through. that was a repetitive thing. So that was basically beat into my head. And then I never got away from her past. I had to grow up living that past. So I really couldn't channel the things that I needed to channel the right way. All of my talents or anything like that, it only went so far. And sometimes we blame our parents for it, but we can't really blame our parents because they did the best that they could, right? That's what I think. I've heard several people even say it. Charleston White is one of the most recent ones that just said, hey man, you can't blame your parents for the things that, you know, they didn't do or they didn't give you. Because hey, they did the best that they could, right? So another thing, man, his ability to connect with all races. I'm loving this. I'm loving this portion about Deion. I ain't gonna flex, man. I grew up in a black and white culture. I grew up in a time and era to where, you know, the racism and the hate was real. I was spit on by a white boy in elementary school and got kicked out of the daycare program because I fought him. I never forget his name, Jonathan Beckham. I never forget Jonathan Beckham, man. Jonathan Beckham spit on me, man. And man, we had to go a couple rounds. You dig what I'm saying? Because I wasn't gonna let nobody spit on me. You dig? It was crazy. But the ability to come from where he comes from with a single mom in the household, and then being able to not smoke, not drink, not fall into the cultural defects of the black race, and then still be able to be well-rounded. Of course, you probably had, you know, black coaches, you have white coaches, you have coaches of all descent probably in his background from the time he started playing football to his NFL career. Probably had all of those, man. But the man understands that you have to play the game. You got to play the game. And a lot of times, some of us are so shell-shocked and we're still in that black and white era to where it's like, oh, I hate this race or I hate the other race. And you can't see realistically that you're standing in your own way because a lot of the gatekeepers are white, Jewish, you know, Italian, of some other descent that's not African American or black. So in order to get along, you're gonna have to go along with some of these people. Now, that don't say that you gotta go along with the wrong thing. You can still be honest and still keep your integrity and still keep your morals and still keep your values, you know, intact. But you have to really, really be careful of how you interact with different people. And his ability to interact with all of these different races is great. Everybody says, hey, you know, he was at Jackson State for a little bit. Yeah, he was at Jackson State for a little bit, you know, and he just left, you know, the HBCU colleges. Nah, he didn't leave. What he did was he probably put a lot of that gatekeeper crap and a lot of the stealing the money and the misuse of the funds. He probably put a lot of that stuff on blast. You dig what I'm saying? Brought it to the light, invested a little bit of his own money, and then he probably invested more teaching into the black colleges and gave them a blueprint of something positive to follow. Man, we all know it. We got preachers, we got black politicians, we got black people on the school board, we got, you know, coaches, we got a lot of different blacks. And once we get power, because we so not used to having power, we abuse it. And now we're looking at, you know, our children that are getting in trouble and failing, And they're failing because the resources that we have, they aren't legit. When it comes time to, do the right thing or get the studying or the preparation, I would say the early life preparation of the black children, we got people that are failing because they're stealing the money and using it to buy cars and jewelry or the fame or different things like that. So that's what I mean. His ability to do what he's doing now. He's bought people from his hometown. He's bought people from the HBCU colleges. He's bought several Caucasian people. And then he went into a predominantly Caucasian white society in Colorado. And he's putting a little bit of flavor into it. But I want people to get this. They talked about him with the two-parent household thing and what he's specifically looking for in certain players. Let me tell you this right here, man. This man has already taken one of the biggest steps by getting placed as the head coach. He has already made history doing that. But think about this. This man has children. And his children have not gone past the college level. They're all basically at the college level right now. So he wants the state-of-the-art facilities for his kids. That's number one. Number two, he wants the state-of-the-art facility for himself. Who's going to go to work every day in a place to where you don't got clean water or you got a water shortage, undergoing people, stealing and breaking into your cars and different things like that. He's had to undergo a lot of different stresses at that HBCU college. So for him to go into an all-white facility, number one, and become the head coach. Number two, get the best, education for his kids and the environment, the best environment for him and his children as well. But not only has he done that, he's brought his team with him. And he's giving them a chance to get that breath of fresh Colorado air. The scenery of the beautiful mountains. When you down here in the dirty South, man, realistically, man, you see woods. You see these trailer parks. You see these block homes that are filled with mold. You know what I mean? That you can smell the mold from the front. Don't care how much Febreze and how much air fresheners and all that stuff you put in, man. It's a moldy ass city. Straight up. Straight block homes, man. And all of them molded out, man. I done cleaned out several of them during my time, you know what I mean? Who wouldn't want to get away from that type of living, Of course you got the beaches. Cool. You know what I mean? So you get that summer breeze, and it make you feel fine for a little bit, you know what I mean? And seeing the rivers and the water, you know what I mean? That's some good stuff to see too. But man, seeing the mountains, being in an elevated place to where hey, when you walk around and it's like you're walking around in the sky all day, man. And then you can look right out the window and see these beautiful mountains that God created. If you've never been outside of the inner city, you wouldn't understand. Straight up. You definitely wouldn't understand what it's like to go and see something like that, man. So I applaud his ability to take a position, to bring his team along, to bring some of his own people along, and integrate that with other races and put the American dream out there, that we all are free and we all get along, and it may not be as easy as I'm saying it. It's definitely probably more difficult for him, but that's his calling. That's what he's called to do, and you can't blame the man. He don't got no type of error in his record. You ain't never seen him caught up in no rape scandal. You ain't never seen him caught up in no, domestic violence. You ain't never seen him caught up in no, battery or no assault or nothing like that. You ain't never seen him caught up in no fraud. You ain't never seen Deion Sanders in none of this stuff, man. So you gotta respect him, man. And then you can look at his life and you can look at his body and tell, man, he's living well. He's living well. Look at his hands, look at his skin. Man, they pure. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't saying he God, but I damn sure am saying that, hey, some of us could use that as an example of how, to live a better life and a more healthier life, man. Shout out to him, man, for keeping it, you know what I'm saying, integrated. You did. So his ability to persevere through, adversity and health issues, I want to bring that to the spotlight too, man. Everybody like, oh, he this, oh, he that, oh, he sell out, oh, he this, man. Yo, have you ever been to Mississippi? Have you ever been to Mississippi? Have you seen the stuff that's going on right now? 6 officers handcuffing a black man, waterboarding him, and then putting a gun in his mouth and boom, trying to blow his brains out, but they missed his brains but got his daggum teeth and tongue, where you got to get his tongue surgically removed. And like I said, breaking into your car, not only breaking into your car, man, you getting some of your limbs amputated too. Can you imagine that? Could you deal with that? How would you like to have one of your toes amputated, man? Could you walk and have one of your toes amputated, man? And could you keep the faith in God, knowing that you're about to die, or knowing that you can't, that you may not see your kids again, or be able to see them grow up? Could you live with that? Man, I would be scared for my life. My faith probably would be so shaken, man, because I feel like I'm on my way out. Man, I'm 39 years old, man. And just losing the job for me is like a nervous breakdown. Straight up. I lose a job and it's like the world has come to an end. Not recognizing that, hey, man, God is only allowing certain things to happen because he needs you to recognize certain things. He needs you to focus a little bit more. And he's going to take you through something so he can bless you and bring you out better on the other side. So, man, shout out to Deion Sanders, man, for persevering through all of his adversity, his trials and his tribulations, and keeping the faith. And he keeps that on the tip of his tongue. He keeps it on the tip of his tongue, man, and brings that to the forefront. You know what I mean? I seen him in an interview, and the man was about to say something, and he said, no, don't let me say that. Thank you, God. Let me say this. And then he put a different spin on whatever he was about to say, or he cleaned up what he was about to say. Man, it take a special guy, man, to show the world, or just to show the college football society that, hey, man, you have to love one another. You have to have that team spirit. You have to have that spirit to win. And not only do you have to have that spirit to win, man, you got to have that spirit to go through some things, to come out prime time. You did. If you ain't going through something, then you ain't prime time because you ain't working hard at it. You know what I'm saying? Listen, thank y'all for rocking with DJ CK1 in the morning, man. I love y'all. I wanted to bring some points that would definitely help us understand this Deion Sanders situation, man, because the man ain't bad at all. He's actually a great coach. He's actually a great example. He exposed what he needed to expose with the HBCU colleges, and he left a blueprint for them to follow. So now it's up for those people in those positions to step up and do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And now he's on to a bigger platform to where he can bring, and he can bring God to the nation. And it ain't just black, it ain't just white, it ain't just his kids, it ain't just his relatives, it ain't just his special picks, man. It's a melting pot, man. He's showing you, man, that you could do it. Through whatever adversity, no matter what color you are, you're gonna be straight, man. You can do it. You can be a winner. Hey, Stay Connected TV, man. I'm signing out. Stay connected.